Don't be a lemon. Be a rosebud.
Behold the power of magnetism. What would your finishing maneuver be called?
The circumcision.
Follow the process.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Let's Talk More Wrestling podcast, the wrestling podcast where we review what's happened throughout the week, and that would be the pay-per-view of the week by WWE. It's Battleground. My name is Turbo Tony. We're here with Matt Marsander, back in returning to the Let's Talk More Wrestling podcast after you missed the last one. But that's fine. It would have been a bit weird us talking about my wife with my wife not there, so that would have been awkward. How you doing there, Matt?
Better than it was last week.
Yeah? Okay.
On the mend.
On the mend. That's always good news. So, Battleground, the pay-per-view of the week. We are going to go through match by match what we thought of the event. Matt is fresh. He watched the event straight, literally, less than a couple of minutes ago to finish off the event. I watched it a little bit earlier. We do apologise for not getting up earlier on in the week, but some weeks it just isn't going to happen over here in England. We are not going to stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning to do a podcast at 9 o'clock in the morning to get it out the next day. It's just, we have lives, damn it. We can't dedicate ourselves that much to getting them all out. But I think Matt has made a promise to himself that he's gonna get a review out of all the pay-per-views or die trying. So he's dragged us in, and we're gonna do the review here.
I know we never promised it, but I think we've got a damn good track record at the moment.
Yeah, we reviewed every single WWE pay-per-view since we started the relaunch, so we've done pretty well, and let that continue with this episode as well. So awesome. So there were two kickoff shows during this, two kickoff matches. One of them, of course, was the Cameron and Naomi match, which I'm not exactly crying or losing sleep over the fact that I missed it. And as we got the
I need to get to the network.
Yes, yeah, for that match, of course.
To get it, how exactly? My life is incomplete without Naomi versus Cameron.
Exactly. Now we did get this prediction right. We knew that they're trying to put some stock, at least in Cameron. I don't rightly know why, but they're still doing it. And she got the victory over Naomi here. You're probably going to continue feuding for a little while, and that's the way that their breakup's going to go along. And yeah, fair enough. I can't really say much
Cameron
about it.
won?
Cameron won, yeah. She beat Naomi.
Oh.
Mrs. Alicia Fox is...
I don't know if I'm shocked, sickened.
Well, she's hanging around with her hero, Alicia Fox, from that epic match that she had with Melina. She's riding on cloud 9, some would say. No, I
genuinely feel a little sick.
Yeah, I'm for people that don't know, and probably may tell as well. I am feeling a little bit sick. I think this is the sickest I've ever done doing a podcast, and just talking about that match makes me feel a bit worse. So let's swiftly move on, shall we, to a match of the other side of the wrestling spectrum. What a match to kick off this show, and it's quite ironic when you look back at last year's Battleground that a tag team match between the Rhodes brothers and the Shield was the best match of the night, best match of the year in my opinion. And we come to the best match of the night, which is the tag team match for the titles. Ironic as well, isn't it? The same thing this year. Usos against the Wyatt family, best out of 3 falls.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. One thing I noticed throughout this match, and we've been heavily critical of the commentary the last couple of weeks, but I actually have to praise them here. I thought at the very least at the early start of this match, the commentary was pretty decent. It was all focused on the contest, nothing plugging apps or networks or anything. During the very least the first half of the match, it was all about the match. I think that's probably the best thing that the commentary team can actually go into.
No shameless plugs or anything.
Yeah. And you know what? I pleasantly enjoyed it. It was a bit of a change, considering when you look back at commentator teams past, a lot of it used to be play-by-play, but now it's a lot of plugging, start talking about things that aren't wrestling and stuff like this. So I appreciate it. It's all right, and we will praise good commentary when it comes up. But more often than not, the commentary's been pretty shocking, but it's been all right. But what a match, Matt! I know you're a big fan of tag team wrestling. You must have rather enjoyed this particular contest between these guys.
It was a very good match, actually. I did really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, how can I not? Especially, It was two quick falls, and then it's like, oh, it's down to the final one, and then they just went all out.
Yeah. They had the first two pins, and
That's what I quite liked. Literally, just like let's war.
Yeah, it was like the first two pins, as you say. It was like pretty much bang bang, and then it was. I thought, oh, maybe they're going to wrap this up pretty quick. You know, they've already had a long match on a pay-per-view, but then, as you said, it was almost like that's when the match really began.
Yeah.
It went to finisher crazy. I think is probably a statement to say of
There's
it.
good spots in it as well.
Yeah.
One thing I quite liked is like because that bit was sort of like the Usos were both on the top, and Rowan sort of like did that double suplex sort of thing.
Yeah, which
Just like, oh, that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, like out of all the wrestlers involved in this rivalry, the Usos always get their spots. Harper gets plenty of spots, but Rowan is the one that doesn't tend to get that much. So it was kind of cool for him to get the first real big spot of this match, and it was that double suplex. But there was double super kicks, double dives off the top rope. There was a lot of stuff here, and the fans were eating it up. And this is the second really good match they've had. But we'll talk about the finish. The finish is a little bit shocking.
Yeah.
We thought that the Wyatts were going to be given the strap, and we thought, along with Bray losing a match later on in the night, and also the fact that as a stable that they've been losing a bunch of matches, I thought that this would be the payoff.
Yeah, we were completely wrong with this.
Yeah, I have to admit, sometimes
We'll see.
Sometimes there's a bit of a swerve and people win that we don't expect to, but it's because we see the damage being done to a certain tag team. But that being said, we've also said on the record as well, you, me, and Matt, that we've said that sometimes matches are so good that being a loser doesn't really matter. But in this case, it is a little bit different because I've had two title matches and lost both of them. So it's a little bit odd now for the Wyatt family. I don't see them having a third match, then winning the belts. That seems odd. It just seemed to make sense. Wyatt's winning this, them having the third and final match as the Usos trying to get their rematch.
It's sort of like you're back down at the bottom of the ladder now.
Yeah. There's a lot of tweets going around with the Ascension going about the Usos, and I firmly believe that the Ascension aren't too far away from being brought up. I firmly believe that they will be brought up very, very soon. And it seems right. If they are going to give the belts to the Wyatt family, maybe they're keeping them on the Usos because another heelish faction are coming up. And I say heelish because the Ascension almost get treated like faces sometimes on NXT, but I think they'll be treated as heels on the main roster.
In NXT, the Ascension are almost like the Undertaker. Everything screams heel. Like, it's all dark, it's all broody and all that lot, and they've got a very aggressive heel style. Yeah, but they're really over. Yeah. So it's kind of like the Undertaker. It's like you're heel, but everyone cheers for you. So you're in that awkward place.
Yeah. Now, I hope that a lot of the Ascension, when they come up, a lot of that crowd interaction that they have transcends. Sometimes it doesn't. You know, we've seen that with a few of the NXT guys coming up. Sometimes it just doesn't get over.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the that Ascension will be fine. And it does look like they're going this route. They may go for a third match, but I mean, what's the point at this point? I think these guys are pulling off fantastic matches, but there's only so many times you can do that in a row, and it has to have a little bit of direction. But we'll see that. We'll see what happens on Raw. I know Raw's already aired, but we haven't watched it. I purposely haven't watched Raw just so that I don't get too sort of out of what I thought about the pay-per-view as a whole.
So this one hasn't become tainted?
Well, yeah, I mean, sometimes you watch Raw and you're like, oh, well, all this stuff makes sense now, but at the time it doesn't. I always believe in reviewing things as they happen, sort of thing, you know? So, yeah, that's the sense of what it is. But brilliant match, best one of the night. Not by far, there was other good matches, but it still was the best match, but clearly.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's probably the best word. And the Usos are coming over as these very, very competitive tag team champions, beating the Wyatt family in such epic matches. I would highly recommend this match. Moving onward, Paige against AJ Lee. I thought this match was frustrating, and I think I say that because they were trying to tell. I don't know whether you saw this as well, man. I'm interested to see what you thought of this match personally. But it seemed like the match itself went at a snail's pace, and the reason why they did that was trying to tell a story of frustration from Paige trying to beat her and trying to get all these moves. What really frustrated me is Paige, when she does a move, it was almost like she was sitting there on the mat for about a good minute before she gets up and continues. That way, the match was just far too slow paced.
There is one thing though. There is one thing you've already missed out though.
Go on.
There's one part of the pay-per-view that you completely skipped. It's like Ambrose getting thrown out of the building.
Oh yeah, well I added that in the match bit. I just thought that's probably it. So yeah, sorry to say about that. So yeah, he essentially
Okay,
just to fill in as well. We will talk about it more in reference, but yeah, interview Rollins, and then Ambrose comes in, lays him out, and gets thrown out. And I do have a lot to say about actually that stuff that happens, but so that's going to be an interesting part of the podcast. But we'll get to that in a minute. Thanks for reminding me of that. I can't even remember, didn't know where that bit fit in, but there we are. What do you think of the Divas match? In terms of the pacing of it? Because some people are saying, "Oh, it was really well paced." I think it was far too slow paced, personally.
What do I think of it? It was an odd one. I thought it had like loads of potential because I was just like, this could be finally that match that sort of like redeems the Divas division in the WWE, and it kind of did because there was some good wrestling in it. But then I don't know, it really pained me because I don't know if you picked up on it, but there was sort of like a flip powerbomb sort of thing.
That was really badly botched, wasn't it? It was horrible.
Stole momentum.
It did. There was a lot of stalling momentum in this match, and I don't think this match is anywhere near the quality, I think, of what they can go. Yeah, there's a better match between these girls. I just think that maybe it's weird as well because we talk about the story of frustration, and Paige didn't even turn heel after losing to AJ. Thought it was cool that AJ Lee used the Shining Wizard to finish the match, and I think that's a move that she should regularly add to her arsenal.
Sort of pull it out a bit more often.
Yes. I think it's a cool move. I like the Shining Wizard personally. It's used a lot in Japan. And it's used as a finisher in Japan, so I'm glad that they used the same thing here. But as we said, there's no big heel turn for Paige. I expect that will happen on Raw, because otherwise there's no point in doing this match. I honestly think there's no other direction that you can go for Paige apart from her going heel. And maybe having a match at SummerSlam because she becomes such a pain in the ass to AJ Lee. But we'll see how that goes there. But yeah, a bit of a poor match, and we hope there's better. Maybe this match was just badly planned. But I hope that Paige doesn't continue a trend of having a finisher, getting a 2 count, and sitting on the mat for a minute before continuing it. It's very, very boring. She moves around the ring, and sometimes some of these matches I've caught her do it sometimes, where she's just very, very, she's almost like wasting time, and that doesn't make a
sort of just there's a real stall to it.
Yeah, it doesn't give anything because of the length of the match. It just means there's nothing in the match. So you can have a long match that's garbage, but still, we'll see how it goes from there. One of the big matches that we're looking forward to that's got a lot of controversy surrounding it is Rusev versus Swagger. This is the America,
the one that's had the biggest build up.
The hottest build up, I would say, out of any of the matches. The match. Let's talk about the match. So obviously this is the whole America against Russia thing. If people don't know what's happening in recent events in Ukraine, a commercial jet was blown up. Lots of people killed over Ukraine, and a lot of people are pointing the finger at Russia for it. And regardless of what we think politically, we're not going to talk about it here. This isn't a political podcast. We don't have the credentials for such a thing. But WWE decided that they, instead of pulling back from the whole Putin thing and pulling back from not even referencing it, they decided to do the unthinkable and actually reference it in their promo that Lana had here. She says that
blame Russia for current events.
Yeah, really stupid by WWE. They could. It's almost like I don't know why they would think that. A lot of people say, "Oh, you know what? In the Attitude Era, they used to get away with this a lot." Well, no, they didn't do this when actual people had died over it. They used to, they used to reference current events that maybe were a bit shady, but nothing, I think, involved in people being killed. I think it's really off by them, and they've got shit for it. It's a lot of people are pointing the finger at WWE and saying this is really, really bad. You can't make reference to this, and I agree. Personally, I think it was very, very much.
The thing I've heard also is they've done this whole. Well, it's a storyline that's been going for 3 months now, and they've mentioned a few times you blame Russia. So I guess that's sort of what they thought to have been their sort of get out of jail free. It's well, it's been a long running It's been long running.
No.
You should expect this. It's like, nah, no. You're going to get problems with this.
The thing is with this match as well, you didn't need a promo to bring it off. The build-up was already done. You didn't need a promo to start off, but they decided to, and they're getting shit for it, and I think they deserve it, personally. I really do. So, anyway, talking about the actual match, I thought the match was good. I think it was alright. I thought the ending sucked, but...
oh, yeah, way to make the super athlete seem like a pussy.
Yeah, they... it was almost like Jack Swagger dominated all the way through, and Rusev found a loophole in it and to win. I would rather have made this a hell of a contest. Even if you are going to have Rusev come over the winner, make it a really good wrestling match with these guys being even, like a Clash of Titans almost. And that's the way it seemed leading up to the match anyway, you know, with the crowd response. But it didn't live up. I don't believe so. And,
yeah, I thought so. Like, nah.
Yeah, and while I haven't caught Raw, I've heard the news apparently that they've dropped this feud, which I think is unthinkable. I think with the way that this feud ended, you need to have it go on for.
It's got to finish.
Yeah. You need for it to go into SummerSlam and have an actual pinfall finish. To have it end in a count-out victory, which is what happened here. For people, obviously, that haven't seen it, that Swagger basically gets flipped onto the post, gets knocked out, 10 count for Rusev, gets to win. And as you say there, it made him seem very lackluster and everything like this.
Rusev, the super athlete who gets a guy pinned, who gets a guy counted out because he can't beat him. It's just like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, if Swagger isn't the payoff, then there's no need to protect Swagger. I firmly believe that. He can get pinfalled and continue with whatever he's doing, and makes Rusev the big guy. I mean, obviously when Rusev gets pinned, you have to come up with a different plan for him. But nah. I thought there's better of this. I thought, fair enough, if they have this, I think this was the perfect finish if you're going to have another match at SummerSlam, you know? That way you've elongated. Because I said beforehand with the predictions of this match should be at SummerSlam. It's too big not to be at SummerSlam. The fans are totally in it, and it's a bit of a waste not to have it there unless you've got other plans for Rusev. But we'll see. And it seems like the Swagger Rusev thing is done, which I'm a little bit sad about. I thought it was a very hot feud.
I'm so shocked that they've just given up on
it. Just a bit. Now let's talk about Rollins versus Ambrose. Got a lot of stuff to say about it. So obviously in the earlier segment, Ambrose attacked Rollins and was banned from the building by Triple H.
Yep.
So they left the match in a bit of limbo, as you can imagine. How is he going to compete if he's not left in the building? Rollins comes out, accepts the victory by forfeit. And that
demands that it gets announced as such.
Yeah, which I thought was good heel stuff. I can't blame that. It's pretty good. So that's the match. And Ambrose comes out and they have a brawl. A lengthy brawl, I'll give it that.
Sort of do, don't they?
Yeah, with a lot of people breaking them up. And obviously they're elongating this up to SummerSlam, as I said beforehand. It seems odd that they do the payoff here.
Oh, I'll tell you what, SummerSlam had better be brutal.
Yes, here's my issue with this particular thing, right? My issue with this is, and a lot of people have glossed over this, I'm surprised a lot of people haven't picked up on this, is that technically the match never happened, and the fact is that this match was advertised as being a part of the show. I think WWE are really, really being dangerous by advertising a match and then removing it.
Yeah, apparently they got a lot of stick for people who were like, you know, Ambrose Rollins was like the sole reason I bought Battleground.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh.
I think for a lot of people it would be that case as well, because in the title match later on everything seemed very cookie cutter, and it ended up being that way. This is the one match that a lot of people were really, really into, and obviously, you know, Rusev and Swagger I think was really hot as well. But I don't think WWE can defend themselves if they advertise a match then remove it from the card. Even a brawl doesn't count because it's not the actual contest that people paid for, and they got into this shit before. They have got into this shit before by advertising something and not delivering on that fact. So I think it was actually rough. I think it was Battleground last year they got in trouble for that as well. I'm not too sure. I can't say that for sure, but I know one time last year they got in the same shit for this, and they actually had to offer refunds to certain people because they were not happy with the event and the quality of it. And I think...
Hang on, wasn't that Royal Rumble? Because Daniel Bryan didn't come out.
No, I don't think it was Royal Rumble. I'm sure it was something last year. That it was if you know what it is, comment on it. I'm sure we probably reviewed it or something along those lines, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, they're walking a really, really awkward thin line when they come to advertising matches and removing them off the card. They really are. And less of that, WWE, because you can get in big trouble and you would deserve it. You really would, if that's the case. Bray Wyatt against Chris Jericho. This card looks really good when you look at it top to bottom. It really does. Except for a lot of the matches obviously didn't get a conclusive finish. But regardless, Wyatt versus Jericho is another match. Again, that is going to happen again at SummerSlam. Obviously, a lot of this was setting up SummerSlam, if anything else. Yeah.
It's not. SummerSlam's not actually as far away as I thought.
Yeah.
It's like already, it's like, Jesus, it's like a month.
Yeah, 4 weeks away, and then SummerSlam is upon us. I thought this match was alright. I really did. I thought this. I think they could do better, but I thought it was very satisfactory. I very much enjoyed it.
It was like Wyatt's sporting a lovely shiner.
Yes, it was. It didn't improve that much from Raw. That's to be said. Wow, I'd love to see the spot where he actually got that shiner. Jesus, it must have been a hell of a damage they got put on.
Proper right hand, yeah.
Props to him for going in there and performing a match of this quality, though. Very good stuff, and he does good. The Wyatts were ejected from the ring, and Jericho beat him clean. Beat Wyatt, as we said would happen. We got this prediction right. As a lot of our predictions, we actually got correct in this event. In fact, I think we got all of them right, bar the Battle Royal and the Wyatt family losing, but still.
Yeah. The Battle Royal, that pissed me off.
Yeah. Now, the Wyatt family are having a horrendous time. They are losing match upon match upon match upon match upon match. In fact, Wyatt hasn't won a match for a long, long time in terms of pay-per-view and big match, you know. Now, we've said this before, that Jericho also hasn't won matches almost in years in terms of pay-per-views and setting up in rivalries, and obviously he's given a win for Wyatt to beat him and be somewhat credible. But... yeah, it's a little bit worrying for the Wyatts. You know, Cena left them in a bad place. They really did. And they've been losing these title matches to the Wyatts. Bray Wyatt lost a lot to Cena, lost that entire rivalry. He's been involved in title matches and haven't won them. You know, he was at the Money in the Bank title match. Didn't win. And, They haven't been protected very well. You would never see the Shield actually going through this particular thing. They would never lose this many matches in a row. But
dry spell, yeah.
Very, very dry spell for Wyatt. So, but still, we do expect Jericho will do what Cena wouldn't, and actually give Wyatt a big, big win. And I see that happening at SummerSlam. So there we are.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Now, this is really funny. This segment, right? We're talking more about Seth Rollins now. This is really stupid. When I watched this was something that for some reason I thought that would come straight out of WCW, right? A segment where Seth Rollins is leaving the arena. He decides,
flanked by two big bald men.
Yes, two guys that look like they would definitely at least back him up in a fight, you know, against this lunatic that's attacking him all around the arena. Seth Rollins, in his infinite knowledge and just lack of brains anyway, just decides that he's going to just disband them, that he's safe, even though he's been attacked by Ambrose already.
I can go on here.
And he's also outside of the arena, so there you are. He's just in the parking lot, so, you know, not exactly he's a safist, you know, anyone can hop over a fence and
what's
attack
this?
you.
WWE in a parking lot? Oh, mayhem ensue.
Exactly. Now, what's really funny about this is that he's leaving, even though he said to us all throughout the build-up is that he's option B with his Money in the Bank briefcase. So why the fuck is he leaving before the title match?
Completely, yeah.
That makes no sense. Why does he want to leave the arena, especially as Ambrose already banned from the arena, and he's got a cash in it. He's got a Money in the Bank briefcase. He could cash in a fatal four-way match, no less.
Stick around. Yeah.
Stick around. You could be champion. It just seemed really moronic. Really stupid for Rollins just to leave the arena, get attacked, why not? And he does by Ambrose, who's in the trunk of his car, attacks him, and then Rollins manages to get away. But there's the gist of that segment. I thought it was really stupid. I thought it was really bad booking, and I think that's just.
I think it's only because Rollins left.
Yeah,
that's literally the sole reason.
Yeah,
like if they could have done it like right at the end of the show and like. Seth Rollins won't be on Raw because this happened at the end of Battleground.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Like, they could have done that. They could have just recorded it and left it be.
Exactly, yeah. They could have had, obviously Triple H coming out and opening up the shows he likes to, and saying on the screen, you don't know what happened, and but that lunatic attacked him. We have exclusive footage of what happened after Battleground, after the main event aired, because Rollins was around. There you go. That's it. Fixed. Done. Really stupid. Really, really stupid. It just makes no sense. Really nonsensical. You'd expect this stuff from TNA, like I said, and it's just very odd that it shows up on WWE television, and they just had a bit of a brain-dead segment, but still. They're not immune to brain-dead segments, as we've seen before.
So it would seem. Most
of them involve Brie Bella, but still, anyway, carrying on. Intercontinental Battle Royale for the title. Bad News Barrett comes out, cuts a lovely, nice, good promo. He's going to come back as a face. I do think he will come back as a face. Because the fans are just totally into him. They really are. And I think that's a general evolution of his character. I don't see why they don't put Barrett on SmackDown commentary. Really don't. While he's out. Do the CM Punk thing. I think Barrett's good enough to be on.
That's it. Out for injury, put him on the talkie.
Yeah, exactly. That way he's still in the fans' minds, and he can come back when he's ready. And look how well that worked for CM Punk. Really did work very well for the guy. So, talking about the actual match, the Battle Royal was a Battle Royal. You can't really say anything else. It had a few spots involving Kofi Kingston, of which he was eliminated straight after doing a spectacular dodge of being eliminated. One little note as well, RVD was removed from this Battle Royal, even though he had a few matches stating that he was going to be in it. He was just injured before the match, so nothing sinister involves him being removed. He was just unable to compete.
No, I didn't even notice that.
Oh, what, him not being there? Neither did I. It's only because I checked the news
until I saw
afterwards.
A report the next day saying he wasn't there because of injury. It's like, he was meant to be there?
Well, we all knew he wasn't going to win anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So I said that there's going to be one or two people that's going to win this match. It's either going to be Sheamus or Cesaro. I was completely wrong. And I should have seen it coming anyway, to be honest, considering Miz had just returned and was being given a whole brand new gimmick.
Playing pussy.
Yeah, exactly. He does what I like to call the Santino treatment of that Royal Rumble, where he got slammed, was rolled out of the ring, the bottom rope, obviously wasn't eliminated, and then just stayed out there the entire time.
But came back in. Oh, God, there we go, and he's off again. He's rolled out. Last
two people are Ziggler and Sheamus. A nice little fight between them two happens. Big back and forth, good stuff between them. It looks like Ziggler gets the win. He super kicks Sheamus off in a really good spot, and then obviously as you just think he's won, you're waiting for the bell to ring, doesn't ring, and there's the Miz to dump him over the top rope and win.
Yeah.
And there you are. And Ziggler just has a look on his face like this just always happens.
I've just been fucking rocked again.
Yeah. And there was a lot of interviews that WWE.com put up about him just like, I shouldn't have took my eye off the ball. There's a reason why he wasn't made IC champion, and that's because someone just doesn't like him backstage. You just know that's the case.
It's like Sandow. It's just like he's really pissed someone off.
He must have really.
Like even Sandow was in it, but he could still we've got to dress him up funny.
Yeah, like I don't even know what he was dressed up as. It doesn't even matter.
Like an old retired American, I suppose.
Yeah, why not? I don't know. Still. They couldn't give the fans what they wanted, which was Ziggler just to have one little moment in the sun. They couldn't even get that. So Miz gets the win. It looks like they're going to be running with a storyline trying to unify the titles. Maybe at SummerSlam they're going to be doing this with Sheamus.
I don't get why Miz has to feud with Sheamus. Like, surely this would be a Miz-Ziggler feud.
Well, they don't want to give Ziggler any limelight, so they're going to give it to Sheamus. So there you go. Some sort of direction for Sheamus, which he's desperately needed for a while. Just some sort of program that's mildly interesting. But I'm sure after this, regardless of whether he wins or loses, that he'll just go back to doing what he regularly does, which is nothing.
It'll count for nothing. Fella and kicking people.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. And doing the foot kick, which is what it is. Or the sorry, I got it wrong. I was we referenced the fact that a lot of his moves just don't make any sense.
Yeah.
I was told by my wife that apparently it's the shoe kick.
Shoe kick.
Brogue is shoe, so there you go. It's a shoe kick.
Okay.
We're looking for the glove kick next. Why not? Just makes some sense. So Yeah, a little bit of a. Obviously, they suckered you in. It was almost like you could tell Triple H had his troll face on backstage. He trolled us all. He trolled us all, and he loves it. And there we are. That's the way it goes. Final match of the night was the WWE title match, the main event. Now, there's obviously a lot of talk that was going on around this that prompted a lot of other podcasters to actually state that Cena wouldn't walk away. We said that he was going to walk away champion, and we were right, but a lot of other podcasters said that he wasn't because of the news coming that he wasn't going to be on Raw, and that the title was never referenced in the leaks of him going against Lesnar. But it's Cena. Cena wins. That's it.
That's it. What's that? The odds are stacked against you. Cena wins.
There's some nice odds that you had there. Shame someone beat them, and that's Cena, of course.
Yeah.
Although he won and we could see it happening, I thought all in all it was a decent enough match. I thought
it was good enough out for we.
I thought that even the back and forth between Kane and Orton was mildly entertaining, and it was a good.
It's sold. I'll tell you what, it sold Reigns strong.
Reigns came out of this match looking good. The only issue that I have with that is that I don't want him putting any more title matches now until he's going to win the damn thing. I don't want him.
In any like Ryback.
Yeah, I'm so scared of them giving the same. I know they won't. I know people say, "Oh, they'll never treat him the same way," and I fully agree with you. But it's still a bit scary just seeing what.
It's that fear in the back of the mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're going to Ryback him.
Like, we firmly believed that they weren't going to do that to Ryback. We were 100% saying this guy could be something big, and then look where he is now, and it's just completely different. I just hope that there's not even a sliver of the same sort of fate for Reigns, because I think he is a huge star in the making. But I do think he's got a lot more potential to him than Ryback ever had. But still,
there's one thing that Sally, my girlfriend Sally, picked up when it came to Roman Reigns.
Go on.
His hair, like, imagine an old VHS tape, and you pulled all the tape out. You know how it's like really thin and shiny.
Yes.
That's Roman Reigns' hair.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I haven't seen him. If you see him with his hair normally, it's just normal. But obviously, they grease the shit of that up just so it has a different look.
Pour like the better part of about 5 litres of water down his back. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
that's the one thing I noticed whenever like Rollins comes out, and it's just like, dude, you're dripping wet.
He is absolutely baked in water.
It's like, that's a whole bucket. Yes, good.
He must, do some apple bobbing before every match just to get sufficiently drenched. But yeah, Reigns is almost the same. He's very what's the word? What's the word when you drink a lot of water that you're very
hydrated?
Hydrated. There you go. I'm having a brain fart. And you know the funny thing is, I'm drinking water as we're doing this, and I've drunk about 4 pints.
What's that word when you drink loads of water? As I drink water.
So yeah, my mind is going a bit brain dead, much like that Seth Rollins segment earlier on in the show. So there we are. that, my friends, is what you call a back step to an earlier thing. I like my my transitions between them. That's going backwards. I'm getting better. But still. I did enjoy the match. One thing I thought was very funny is that Steve Austin tweeted that John Cena's STF just looks like it doesn't hurt at all, and he needs to tighten that shit up.
That was we spotted that as well. It's like, oh no, the leg's been turned around, but look at all this air.
Yeah,
like all that light around Orton's head. What's that?
I'm disabled. Yeah, I have a really bad leg. I'm sure if he did that to me, I'd still be relatively comfortable. It just makes no
sense. It's just shocking. It was the weakest SDF I've ever seen him lock in.
Yeah, and he does a lot.
It's like, oh, he's tightened it up. No, he hasn't.
No. It's almost like he's done this a few times where he locks it in, and you just know that he's not like he's grunting. He looks like he's in more pain than the person he's locking it in on.
Yeah.
That is actually
it's like just completely overselling.
Yeah.
Nothing.
But still, I fully agree with Austin. Personally, I think he needs a new submission. When you look at the likes of Paige, has that Scorpion crosslock, which looks 10 times more devastating than the STF does. It's not right for your top guy. He needs a new finisher. But
or even like AJ with the Black Widow.
That looks devastating. Obviously, can't see Cena doing a Black Widow though. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, unfortunately, we saw him try and do a Hurricane Rana. That didn't work.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Powerbombed himself.
Oh yeah, still, but. Yeah, I thought it was okay. It was a decent main event, but as we all know, that Cena was going to win, and he does. He comes out victorious. But no more title matches for Reigns until he's going to win that damn belt. No more.
Totally.
I'm very worried that they're gonna somehow take the gloss off this guy's rise by constantly letting him lose opportunities of winning the title. I just think you need to keep him away from that title picture if he's not going to be involved in.
That's it. I mean, give him big feuds, but a big feud doesn't necessarily have to involve the title.
Yeah, I think his next big feud is Rusev. I personally think that payoff is being saved for him, but there we go. We'll see that. And obviously, with Swagger not going against Rusev, maybe that does open up Reigns against Rusev for the pay for SummerSlam. They've teased it before, and WWE at times they will listen to big fan responses. And you can't. And if you remember, Reigns and Rusev in a battle royal ages ago had a really good response. They were the last two in that WWE. Battle royal for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Which Reigns won, and so they could go back to that saying, the only time that Rusev's lost is against this guy, really, but he hasn't been pinfalled, and they can go from that. I'm sure that'll work, but we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah, that sort of plays into the hand, doesn't it?
Yeah. So there you go. That's all the matches. A few that brain dead segment I'll remember for a while, just really stupid. And it took a little bit of gloss off the finish. Obviously, I don't like them overdoing the Money in the Bank tease cash in, but still, just very, very funny. Overall, I thought this event was decent. I really think it was worth a purchase. I think it was alright. And you got some absolutely 5-star wrestling at the start of the show. Wyatt vs Jericho, good stuff. For what was there, Rusev against Swagger was good until it ended abruptly.
Switched.
Yeah. And, for as predictable as the ending was, and as many people may not like...
One thing I got really shocked with, or really confused...
Go on.
We got another Goldust Stardust promo.
Oh, didn't I say on the last podcast that too many more of these without them wrestling is going to get really on my tits? It's already doing that now. I did not...
Is it already doing it for you?
I'm
just think I find quite funny is the fact it's like... I mean, you recently did a podcast with your Stacey.
Yeah.
And it's just like, as the generic not watches it very often.
Mm.
That's similar with my girlfriend Sally. It's like, she had never seen Stardust before.
Yeah.
That was a rather interesting... like, what the hell is that?
How do you explain that to...
Well, how would you describe him? Sort of like, he's got like the Gollum effect, where he doesn't even know who he's talking to. Sort of turning from like one person to the other.
Just merging and So I'm sick of their promos. They need. I don't mind if they do a promo.
I love their promos. It just I want to see them wrestle again.
I didn't really explain it right. I do like what they're doing, but the fact that they're doing it and not wrestling is going to get really old really quick, and it already has started for me. I'm just like, I don't want to see another promo from them until they start wrestling. That's my
completely.
And we'll see where we go from there. But I don't know who they're going to feud with. Maybe they just don't have any plans for them, so they're just giving them a promo each week and letting them be that. It must be really...
I don't know.
It must be very frustrating.
Stuff. Is this where the Usos aren't going to feud with the Ascension? They're going to... it's going to be Goldust and Stardust.
I don't see that happening.
I'd hate to see that happen.
But it must be really annoying for these guys to get all their face paint ready, and it takes time to get that all perfect just to be in like a 20-second segment.
Nothing.
Yeah. And then they have to get it all off.
The purpose of doing the ET finger touch and blowing stars everywhere.
Yeah, there you go. And also hissing at each other, of course. Can't forget that.
Oh yeah, and blowing in each other's face.
Yes, of course. Very homoerotic, maybe some would say about these guys, but still.
But it's a bit scary because they're brothers.
Yeah, they are. Adds to the effect, some would say. Anyway, so yeah, all in all, I thought that the pay-per-view was pretty decent, well worth a watch, and
you had good matches. You had a commentary team that didn't suck.
Yeah, sometimes in some of the matches they did revert back to their usual ways, but at very least, I
quite liked. There was when Ambrose was attacking Rollins, and there's like, obviously you've got. JBL just like, oh, Ambrose should be in prison, he should be arrested, and all this lot. And it's like, you had King, it's just like, the best thing for a closed mind is a closed mouth. And I was just like, yeah, go King. For once, I agree with you.
For once, he gets a halfway decent line. Yeah, he actually gets that right. But it wasn't cringeworthy, I'll give it that. There's a lot of stuff that comes out of his mouth. There was a few bits in this, obviously, where the commentary is bad. You just can't get away from that. But At very least, I just noticed it in that first half of that Usos Wyatt family match. Every bit of that commentary was about what was happening in the ring, and it was awesome.
Yeah, completely.
It added to the match, and it didn't detract from it, which unfortunately for a lot of the other commentary that they do, it often detracts from what else they're doing.
Yeah.
But in that one, I'll give them praise where it's due. So I give it a thumbs up. Do you give it a thumbs up?
I'd agree with your thumbs up.
Yes, agree. Thumbs up for Battleground, and hopefully SummerSlam can be as good as it was last year, because last year it was absolutely phenomenal.
It's panning out pretty well.
Yeah. Still, good stuff, and well worth. So some of these matches are well worth watch. I would definitely agree.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I really want Ambrose and Rollins to be like a stipulation or something.
Yeah, I mean that's a blood feud. That's a match you want a Hell in a Cell match for. I really do think. But
Yeah.
With the Rollins and Ambrose stuff, we're going to keep an eye on them advertising matches that they're not actually delivering on, because on free TV it's not so much of an issue, but for a pay-per-view you really are walking a thin line by not
It's like, I'll pay money for that. Wait a second.
Like, I know some people say, well, sometimes they've done this before and it's not been a problem. Well, the reason it's been a problem because they've announced it during the event and then removed it. There has been a few times that's happened. Not obviously recently, but a few times before. That's okay, because people aren't buying the event for a match they don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's just silly anyway. So, there we are. I think we're done for our Battleground.
That's it, yeah.
If you guys did enjoy this review, then, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And that way you catch our regular podcasts every Sunday. I know you guys are eager for it every Sunday, and it's good to hear that you guys are dying to get the podcast. And it's really good that we're getting support from you guys. It's really good that we're getting the podcast is growing. It's awesome stuff. Whenever each week that we start up the podcast, I tell Matt we've got new subscribers, and I don't think there's ever been a week that I haven't said to him, well, we've got new subscribers. So good stuff, guys. We do appreciate it. But for us though, we'll see you again at the weekend. I'm all podcasted out between doing this and the gaming podcast on the week. I need a break from podcasting just for a couple of days until we get back to the LTW. I'm all talked out. Anyone think I like the sound of my own voice, and I really don't. So,
a bit much.
Yeah, just a bit much. So I'm going to go and rest, get over this sickness, and I'll be back fresh doing press ups for the podcast this weekend. Plenty to talk about, as you can imagine.
No press ups, no vitamins.
Yeah. I'll say my prayers,
That's it.
and come back stronger than ever. Hulk out for the podcast. Why not? If you're new to the podcast, subscribe. If you are regular, why not hit like and share it around social media? That really helps us out. Also, you can follow us on @TalkWrestlePod, and that's the easiest way to ask us any questions. You can also leave a comment if you want to ask us any questions. Also, and it may get featured as an entire topic on the podcast if it's good enough, of course. We've done that before. Someone asked us about something that's happened to CM Punk, I think, earlier on in the year. We turn it into a topic, so you can have that as well. Just feel free to send us any messages that you like. But for now, guys, we're out of here. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll catch you at the weekend.
We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye, guys.